At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Ukiangalia Facebook utaona we are there.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with them. Thank you once again. I'm always happy to be here, especially when it comes to this subject of children. It's very sensitive. So I'm forever grateful for this moment, because a lot of parents out there, we need help. And like we always say, we're in this together. So it's no one person show. So thank you very much, everybody, once again, for joining us live on Facebook to talk about parenting. And today, this is the third session of parenting. This is the third one.
Yeah.
Because people have actually asked us to have more. They say we want more of this. We want more of this topic. We want this topic back. So we're grateful that we're having this topic again. And a lot of people always appreciate this. So there was a video that I wanted to share today. And I actually wanted us to start with that video because when I watched it today, it actually really touched my heart. I was thinking, seriously, I think the problem that we are now facing a lot is the fact that we allow things to happen. We allow a lot of things to just slide, and we think it's funny, but it's actually not. And because once we start like that with the children, we don't tell them off, or we don't rectify the issue immediately, that's not where the problem starts. So I'm just going to share a video with us, and it's just about a lady talking about discipline. And I just want you to tell me, or our viewers as well, what do you think about that video? And as well, you are going to tell us what you think about the video. So we're going to watch the video first before I can introduce you, Angela. Thank you.
Thank you.
Samahani jamani, naomba niulize kitu kimoja. Nafahamishwa kwamba siku hizi watoto hawapigwi. Nafahamishwa kwamba siku hizi watoto ni baba wacha, baba don't touch that, baba don't do that, baba don't who now? Eti watoto wa siku hizi unakunywa unalewa kabisa chakari, unampigia mzazi, mama I'm drunk, send the ambulance to come and pick us. Mama I'm drunk, send the dere. Mom, can you tell the driver to come and pick me with my friends with Nyon Gilbis? Cool. Yani nikijaribu kufikiria mama yangu vile angenipiga aniume, nioge na maji baridi na chumvi, nitandikwe, nilikuwa nikisikia sauti, oi, mtu anishike. Atiume? Let me tell you something. Let me break it down for you. FYI, I am an old school parent. Ni taku. I end up losing my job because why? Wazazi mnalalamika hao watoto wametushinda. Wamekushinda vipi? Wewe mzazi wako mbona hakukushinda? Wewe mbona hukumshinda mamako na babako? Wewe ulipigwa ulivunjika wapi? Si umenyooka ndio uko hivi vile uko squeeze. Mtoto squeeze, oh mom I don't want to eat this, mom get me burgers. Wewe ndio huyo unataka kuvunjika ukalete baga ya kazi gani? Utaki ugali na mchunga, panda kitanda ulale. Acha nikwambie kitu kimoja. Ni mimi mamangu Rose Cherono angekuwa amepigiwa simu ameitwa ati nimelewa curfew. Angehakikisha kwamba ile station kama ni Kilimani napelekwa ni ana ni receive nikishuka kutoka kwa Mariamu. Nikishuka kwanza ni hedi. Anitandike, aninyoroshe, anipige mpaka aniume, angekuja na mwiko yake ya ugali. Aninyoroshe alafu apatie afande, mwambie tandika weka huko. Ati kuna nini? Quarantine. Pesa ngapi? Ajilipie. Ningekaa 14 days ningejua vile ndatoka. Wazazi, wacheni upuzi wa babi, mama, toto, kitinda mimba, my last born, my only child, we've suffered. Your dad left us. Fuda. mtoto mkunje angali mbichi, ama dunia itamchoma na taya. Baadaye dunia itamfanya mambo ambayo mzazi hautataka. Discipline your child. Sasa pige kipigo cha nyoka uwe mnyoshe tu. Mkunjue akipinda kidogo. In the meantime, call me presenter 001. Nifuate kwenye Instagram at presenter 001.
Okay. Okay, that video was very interesting, to be honest. There's so many points that I got from that lady, and thank God for her, I would say. And so today, again, I'm here with my lovely lady. She's a psychologist. So she's actually specializes in parenting and teenagers as well. So when she talks, she knows what she's talking about. I might talk, but I'm just talking through my experience of things that I've seen or things that I know. But when she talks, actually, she's talking from a professional point. So this is Angela. And of course, I'm Lydia Tet-Olette. So Angela, can you just introduce yourself? Don't get into any topic. Just introduce yourself, please, Angela.
Hello, viewers. Thank you so much for having us again today. So excited about all the hype that we've been having, and so grateful for Lydia for making this platform. I tell you, it's a brave move, because we shy a lot from speaking about how we parent. But I'm so grateful for Lydia. Just so, I think it's a sacred moment for us to be here. So my name is Angela Karanja. As Lydia said, I'm a psychologist and I specialize in parenting teenagers. So as I come a lot from the expert side, from research, but at the same time, I am a mother myself of teenagers, and my daughter's friends are my kids as well. So I am a parent in that way. And so excited to be here, and I hope we can learn, and most importantly, we can open ourselves to new ideas, because there's a lot we have to learn, but then there's also a lot we need to unlearn, and we must be willing. We need to have a teachable spirit, and I think that's what we are all here for.
Well, thank you very much, Angela, for that. There's something you just said, that unlearn. We need, as parents, we need to unlearn. I know when you say learn, I know, of course, what that means, but unlearn. Can you just elaborate that more? What do you think we need to unlearn as parents, or people who are planning to be parents as well?
Yeah, when I talk about unlearning, there's a lot of what we call, if you understand what the paradigm is a cluster of habits, of thinking. It's a mindset that when we grew up, some of the things we thought were right and they were correct and they were okay may actually be harming us and harming our young people and harming other people that we relate with. So those are in being teachable, we need to be prepared to unlearn. And it's not easy to unlearn, because the paradigm is a very strong, it's a very strong hold. It's got a very strong hold. So we must be willing to have that, what we call teachable spirit. Yeah. So really it's unlearning and being prepared to say, oh my goodness, all along I thought this was right, but now my eyes have been opened and I can see this does not serve me anymore. And I want to let it go. That is what I would describe as unlearning.
Okay, and just when you're in that topic as well, for unlearning, probably some parents will think that, oh, if I let this go, I'm being a bad parent. But I don't think unlearning is being a bad parent at all. It's just that, yeah, we accept that I was doing this the wrong way, but I think now it's time to do it the right way, because what we are seeing now is our children, whether we want to accept it or not, whether we're living in denial or not, whether we want to make ourselves blind intentionally or unintentionally, we are struggling. Parents are struggling. It's never the same. We see children from the age of 9, at a 9-year-old behaving like they're 20, a 10-year-old behaving like they're 21. And it's just getting too much. We have a lot of teenage unexpected pregnancy, we unwanted expected pregnancy. And I know a child is a blessing, but come on, at the age of 13, 14, what are you doing being pregnant? Do you understand? And we have so many children, especially now in Africa, and talking about Africa, talking about Kenya, my country, we have a lot of young girls into prostitution. We have a lot of things happening. Parents, where have we missed? We have missed something along the way, something that our parents did not miss. There's something we have missed, and that thing is what we want to try and find it back together as a community. Because he said that it takes a community to raise a child. So we need to raise our children together. We are lost, whether we want to accept it or not. Something is amiss. So the video that I played before, and the lady was talking about smacking your children, the way she was smacked, and her mom would have beat her and bite her and use the mwiko and everything. And like I said last time, there are times that yes, using kiboko is acceptable. I've used kiboko myself, and it's because of the community that we are in. We are scared to say I use kiboko. It is okay. Yes, there's also a part she said, don't abuse. Yes, there's a difference between discipline and abuse. There's a difference. And personally, sometimes I think our parents were abusive because they were beating you before you even committed before you even committed the crime. They beat you before you commit the crime, like beat you in advance. That is abuse. But yeah, so I picked from that, from the women, especially when she was talking about, Mama, I'm drunk, come and pick me. So what would you advise a parent who the child calls the parent and say, oh, Mom, I'm drunk, come and pick me up? What would you say?
If for me, I'm thinking if they have the audacity to actually call and tell you come and pick you, I mean, how for them to throw out that command? How many commands have they thrown at you and you have fallen at their feet? Yeah. So some of these things we need to start from early. That's not the way any person, leave alone a child, that's not the way any person should speak to you at all, right? So this should have been stemmed from ages ago. But let's assume you have never done anything about it. And then there's this kid who's telling you that, come pick me up because I'm drunk. If you can command and demand for me to come and pick you up because you're drunk, in the same breath, you can find your own way back home. You can find your own taxi. You can find, you can find your own way back. That is my take. Yeah. That means you have lost complete, for me, that is a situation where a young person has decided they've lost complete control. And on top of that, they are disrespecting you. You're like their slave. You're not their slave. They are responsible enough to go. Did they make any plans? Did they even tell you that they were going drinking, right? Did they even tell you that they were drugged or whatever? And even to actually call you and tell you that, come, oh, that is beyond me, that is beyond me. Those are some of the things I say is take responsibility of your actions. Those, take the consequences of your actions, right? That is what I would say. A kid old enough to call me and tell me they're drunk and they're commanding that I go and pick them up. That is beyond. I would allow them to deal with the consequences because they are pretending to be all grown. What all grown people do. Grown people, when they've gone out to drink, they have a plan how they'll get home. They have a plan what taxi they'll take. They have a plan. They have a plan. So if you're going to do adult things, you have to be able to deal with adult planning and
Mm,
also adult responsibilities.
yeah.
I personally would not budge. I wouldn't move, right? There's obviously, for example, if there is a difference. If, for example, because it is important for us to allow our young people, and especially now, young people are not leaving home early because it can be quite expensive to go and live by yourself, right? But then there's that respect. If the young person, for example, my daughter at 20, she tells me, Mommy, I'm going to whatever, whichever club, this is what we expect, this is what we expect. I was involved in the planning, so I can be involved in the rescue. But don't go, don't disrespect me in such a way, but only expect me to, I'm not your slave. That's what I tell parents. These are kids we love so much, but we are not their slaves.
So we need to draw a line. There's a line.
There's
And
a line. There's boundaries. And this is what compassion does. You love the person so much that you allow them to reap the consequences of their actions. Otherwise, they'll never learn. Yeah, they'll never learn.
So I think with that, we have to actually teach our children from a very early age. And like you said, some parents did not have the opportunity to do that from an early age, like, because there's no book to be a parent out here. So we as parents, we make so many mistakes along the way.
Absolutely.
Until we stumble on people like you, probably, or seminars or events, people talking about parenting. Before that, we don't know anything, because like we say, you only give what you have. So if this is the way you are raised up, that's what you're going to give your children until you hear otherwise. But I think from foundation, and when I say foundation, that means that when that child is just 1 month old, because I keep on telling people that children are smart. Look at those little ones. When you pick them up, they stop crying. When you put them down, they start crying. So how do they know? Even if you're next to them and holding them, they know you're not carrying me, mommy. They know this person is playing with me.
That's
but
right.
Immediately you hold them, they're quiet. And some of them consistently do that, and you're drained and you don't even know what to do. Leave that child, put that child down. Crying will not kill them.
Absolutely.
But because I don't know how to be a mom and nobody told me, I'll think, oh my God, I just have to carry my child on my back when I'm doing things. Before you know it, your chest is painful and you're suffering fatigue, and you start even resenting the baby, because it's this, because of this baby, I'm now what I am right now. So, and I think, like what you just said, we need to teach them that every action has a consequence.
Absolutely.
Everything you do has a consequence.
Absolutely.
So before you do something, before you go anywhere, you need to know that I will have to pay for this consequence.
Absolutely.
And I like what you said about the planning. If, like now, in fact, my daughter was 23 yesterday, so happy birthday to my daughter.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So if your daughter or your child tells you in advance and say, oh, mommy, I'm going clubbing, I'm going with my friends to this apartment, I'm going, because like my daughter, she hires an apartment and she tells me where the apartment is. I know where it is. So if I even decide, you know what, I'm just going to peep in, they're actually there. Whatever they're doing, she will not tell me exactly what they're doing. But the fact that she told me where they are and I know where she is, if I want to go, I can go there. If anything happens and they tell me, oh, apartment ABCD, something happened, I know my child is there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if they plan with you, then if that was to come to a point of, oh my God, mommy, come and pick me up, you can actually go and pick them up.
Absolutely. Because you got the respect. They involved you in the planning. They don't have to tell you everything.
Yeah.
But there's that respect of knowing, do you know what? I still need my mom. I still need my dad in this way. And therefore, I have due respect for them because I can call them at any point. But it's something I tell my daughter all the time. Especially because these teenage years, they'll speak to you like, in nasty words. And then I said to her, let me tell you something. You're speaking to me like this, nasty, and then you expect me to drop you and go and see your friend. What
Yes.
do you think I am? I'm no doormat. I'm not a doormat. And that's not who I am. I
Yeah.
am a person. I am a human person.
Mhm.
So you need to be good. You need to involve me in you. Just give me, even if it's basic respect, because we are so reliant on each other. We are still so reliant on each other. But the problem comes when they click their fingers like this, and parents, we're jumping. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Mm.
Who made you? Who made them the master and you the slave? When?
Yeah.
When?
And I think the problem now comes there, Angela, because I even know with my own children, because they're all different, they all have their own personality. But I have one who will always push and push. Even if you say no, she'll still try and push. And mommy, drop me here, mommy, take me here. And then sometimes I've never even had a wash, get up, have a wash. And then I'm dropping you and you're showing me attitude.
Yes.
I bring you back to the house. I get out of the car and I say, my friend, you know where you wanted to go? Go there by yourself.
Absolutely.
Get there by yourself. So that one brings me back to what, again, the video, the lady said, we say, I know she was speaking in Swahili, so some people who don't understand Swahili probably were lost. But there's a place she said, mtoto wangu, firstborn wangu, sijui nini. It's okay to show affection. There's a difference between affection and spoiling a child.
Absolutely.
So for me, when I leave my children behind, I'm telling you, they'll say, if you're late, mom will leave you. I'll drive off, I'll leave you. Or if you show me attitude, I'll come back home and tell you, you know what, wherever you wanted to go, get there yourself. I'm not taking you anymore. Whether you're taking an Uber, you're paying for yourself. If you're taking public transport, I don't care. But I need you home at this time. And if you don't get home at this time, of course, there's the consequences of your actions. That doesn't mean I don't love my children. That doesn't mean I'm not showing them affection. So there's a difference between affection and spoiling a child. So can you elaborate that as well? Just talk about that.
In fact, we as parents are called to show and demonstrate love, right? And we should show love all of the time. This is something I like to give. I like to give the example of God as a parent. Actually, God loves us regardless. Yeah, regardless. But boy, you break any of the laws of the universe, yeah? You think you're going to jump, you think you're exempt from the law of gravity? No, you knock your head down and down. Yeah. That doesn't mean God doesn't love you, yeah? Think about the laws, other laws, like you have to reap what you've sowed, right? That doesn't mean God doesn't love you. And that is how, as parents, for me, when I think about, I'm like, yes, I've got to be like, God, I love you unconditionally, but the law does not discriminate. You do the wrong thing, you face the consequence. You do the wrong thing, I should not be rescuing you. What you're saying, oh my daughter, this, my last one, my only kid, and all that. No, let them face the consequences of their actions. And that's the only way we can learn, because these laws are there to guide and guard us. And they're there for everyone, for all of us, right? They are there regardless of who you are. So we should not be rescuing our children from facing the consequences. And that's why when I talk a lot with parents about raising highly effective teenagers, and I talk about the 5 habits of highly effective teenagers. For example, I talk about them respectful, responsible, resilient, radiant, and also being robust, right? And each one of those, it is about growing, allowing them to make those steps and then deal with the consequences. And sometimes people think consequences are all bad. Consequences are not all bad. A consequence is what happens after a behavior. So it can be good or bad. And we should not stop and that is what makes us grow, right? So we should never rescue our young people, our children, from facing the consequences of their action. And I know many people give excuses, or they try to, like, I remember that lady said, oh, it's like you're trying to overcompensate for the problems that your kids have had. No, problems happen to everyone. Problems happen to everyone. It's sad. I say it's sad that these things happen to us and to our children. But life is like that. If it's not one problem, it's another. If it's not one problem, there's another. So you cannot say, oh, I'm cordoning you like this because you went through this. No.
In fact, that's dangerous, though. It is actually even more dangerous that your child, like when she said that, oh, your dad left us and everything. It's actually even more sad for you to spoil your child after they have gone through so much. That is when you should now give them discipline to make them face the world.
Absolutely. And it's, instead of cotton wooling them, you're supposed to help them process the events. For example, if the dad, the parent, or the main carer has left for whatever reason, it could be divorce, it could be death, or it could even be, there are some parents who they are there, they are alive, but they prefer to be away, far away all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All those are things that children have to battle with. But instead of us cotton wooling them, we're supposed to help them to process, to show them such is life.
Yes.
Such is life. Because when we don't show them what life is, they don't build. In psychology, there's something we call a psychological template for resilience, right? And how kids develop these is, once they go through something, any advanced childhood experience, any trauma, and trauma can be anything. It could be, it could be sexual abuse, it could be physical abuse, it could be divorce. Trauma can be anything. In fact, it could be just that someone out there looked at them and said they were not beautiful. Trauma can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But our job is to help them talk about it and process it. Not to try and cotton wool them, or like I like to say, oh yeah. I know some of my clients, when I say to them, don't oh yeah my kid. It's like feeling, you're feeling sorry for them. And this is what I say to them. Instead of feeling sorry for your kid, change the story.
Mm-hmm.
Stop feeling sorry. Change the story. Change how and what they think about it. It is okay. It is, some families are like this, and it is okay. It is okay. Let that not define who you are.
Exactly.
Change the story for them. Stop feeling sorry for them.
Mm.
Yeah?
Let them realize that this happened to them not because they are bad or they did anything wrong. It's just because sometimes that is how life is. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people. Because have you not seen every time people say, why is it that it's only good people that die and bad people are just there? That is that we cannot control what the universe does. We're not God. So we don't know why God allows this to happen to this person, this to happen to this person. But as long as we are on this planet, we have to find a way of living with it.
Absolutely. We have to keep going. We have to keep stepping up. We have to keep going. Let's not allow these hindrances to stop us from growing. In fact, I like the story of, I'm sure you know the story of the donkey that fell in the hole. Yeah, I don't know, but this is, I like it because someone was trying to bury the donkey, and then what the donkey did, every time the person put soil in the hole, the donkey stepped on the soil and it came up. It got higher and higher. So allowing life to bury you, right? When people throw you the soil, the everything, when life throws you, just adjust. Like the donkey, step on that soil, step on it, and then readjust, right? Step on
Yeah,
it and readjust. And then at the end, you will get to the top because the soil must get to the top, and then you walk out.
yeah. It's like when people say, when they throw you lemon, when life throws you lemon, make lemonade.
Absolutely.
And what I want to also remind parents is it's not easy. It's never easy. We're not saying, oh, someone can say, oh, you're just saying that because you're this, you're just saying that. It's never easy for anybody. A child is a child. And the other thing as well, it doesn't matter which continent you are. Someone might say, oh, because you're in the UK, it's easier for you. You're in America, you're in Africa. It doesn't matter, because right now I'm talking to you, we can see in the whole world what's happening with the children. It doesn't matter which continent you are. Parenting is not easy. And when they say, what's the hardest job in this universe? It's parenting. Parenting is the hardest job because you have something in your hands, and that thing in your hands, you have to direct it to the right path. How do you do that? It's like I say that being a doctor or a pilot or a driver, you know, those three, doctor, pilot, or driver, they have people's lives in their hands. And any mistake you do can destroy a family, can destroy somebody's life, can destroy so many things. And it's the same thing with parenting. So when they're putting all these careers that have people's hands in their hand, people's life in their hands, they should put parenting first.
Absolutely.
Because it's you who is going to bring out that doctor as a parent. It's you who is going to bring out that pilot. It's you who is going to bring out that driver, so that when they're holding other people's lives in their hands, they'll remember what their parents taught them. And they will hold those hands as well, because they remember the discipline, the foundation, the Bible foundation that their parents gave them. Do you understand? And they will hold those people in their hands as well. So parents, we have the hardest job ever. Absolutely. And we cannot do it alone. That's where you see that even drivers, they work from morning, they cannot drive for more than certain hours. No. Pilot, they cannot do more than certain hours, and they have their co-pilot. Doctors, they cannot do more than these hours, because when they're drained and they suffer in fatigue, that's when somebody's life will be drained. So it's the same thing as parents. You cannot do it alone. We all need help. We need,
and that's what you said earlier, Lydia. It truly does take a village to raise a kid. And sometimes some people think, well, Angie, what do you mean it takes a village? We don't live in villages anymore. And I say to them, it's that phone call that you pick up and speak to a trusted, supportive friend and share an experience, or ask what to do next, or even laugh at what your young person has done, right? You know, it's those conversations that we have with other parents that keep us going. But thinking you can do it by yourself, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. And even people, you know, some people say, oh, myself, I'm a single, you can say I'm a single parent, right? I was a single parent for quite a long time, right? So I can say, oh, you don't understand because you're not a single parent. No, I do understand. But this is one thing I did. Even then I knew this kid does not belong to me alone. And I was prepared to leave her sometimes just to have my own peace of mind, to leave her with safe friends. It's okay. As long as they'll feed her, they won't abuse her, it's okay. You know? And then you leave her. Don't think you have to do it all alone. And unfortunately, no one gives us a medal for suffering. You don't get a medal for struggling. Yeah. In fact, the only thing you get is a mental breakdown. And when you break down, of what use are you to your kids when you're broken down? You're not any use. So we need to think about our own self-care as well. Look after yourself. Sometimes you can even say to your kids, I'm going into the bathroom for an hour. Yeah? I just want to be there for an hour. Nothing is going to happen to the kid if you leave them for an hour.
Mm.
I mean, I remember from as long as I can remember, I've always loved running. And even having my young person, I started asking, at what age can I leave my daughter at home alone? And how long, and how far,
Mm.
But again, I remember just knock at the neighbor and say to them, I'm gonna be away. You just leave them your phone number, and I'm going away. I don't want her. She's not coming round, but she's in the house. She's in her bedroom. But I'm going for half an hour for a run. Just for my own mental wellness. Things that we have to be prepared to take some of these steps. Otherwise, we'll break down.
We need alone time. You need alone time.
Absolutely.
to be able to cope. It's really difficult. And also, what the lady spoke about is, if you don't teach your children, the world will teach them.
Oh,
and this is huge. If you don't teach your children, if you don't train your children, the world will teach them. And like I've seen in Kenya so many times, because that's where I come from, children or those thieves in the streets, they're being burnt by tire, they're being stoned to death. Children end up in prison. Children end up, because the world is teaching them a job that you could have done yourself, but you chose to spoil your child. So just talk about that more, about the world will teach your child.
The truth is, out here, and that's what I tell my kids, my teenagers, I said to them, when you're out there, they actually don't care. They don't care for you. They don't. If you think they love you, the kids in the house, they say, oh, you don't love me because you didn't do this for me. And I have to remind, no, actually, I'm doing this for your own good. Because if you don't learn these principles, you'll go out there. You see the way, for example, the way you're speaking to me, I say to you, oh, for example, I'll say to my daughter, oh, can you put that the plate in the dishwasher? Because in fact, I should not even be having to tell her that. But then, if the plate is left there for so long, I have to say it, right? So I say it, and then she gives me such a bad look.
Attitude.
I get such a bad look, like I am a monster or something, right? And that's when I turn around and say, let me just tell you something. Yeah, you're fortunate that I'm your mother, and I have the patience to say to you, can you stop behaving like that? You go out there, maybe when you're in uni or when you go to work, someone asks you to do something, you give them that look. Or in the street, you give someone that look, you get burned. Right? People don't have patience with you. So what I'm doing here with you is just training you to be just even clean up after yourself. I'm not even asking you to do anything for me. Just take responsibility of your own things. Or you go to work and you behave like that, you're going to be sacked the first day. No, they don't have patience for you. They don't have time for you. Right? And it's important for us. Of course, we have to do it with patience because they are learning. But we must never drop that guard. We must never drop that guard, because when we drop it, that's when the behavior goes downhill. And when the behavior goes downhill, it can be very, very hard to rectify. Yeah. It can be extremely, extremely hard to rectify.
It will be too late.
I know you're talking about, we talk about, and this, because of the nature of my work, I've worked with young people from all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts, right? And some of them, some of the kids, they'll say, oh, you go on like this, I'm going to call social services, I'm going to put myself in care. and you're like, okay, go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead and do it. You think that's where it's better? There, no one cares for you. They don't give you hugs. They don't, they just don't have time for you. They're doing a job.
I think we've allowed our children to hold us ransom. We've allowed that because when you do something to a child, I'll call the police, I'll call the social service, and then now you give in because you don't want your child to call the social services, you don't want your child to call the police, so you just give in. What I've told parents before, and trust me, my friends, the ones either they are watching or they're not watching, or they can tell you, they used to bring their children to me for discipline. And the father of my kids one day told me that, oh my God, Lydia, I was in a bus and I saw this child behaving so bad towards the mom. And I was like, oh my God, if somebody can just give Lydia that child for 2 days, the child will be straight like a ruler. We have allowed our children to hold us ransom. You want to call the police? Give them the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Give them the phone. You want to call the social services? Give them the phone. Absolutely. They will not do it. But when they see the fear, it's like they say the animals, like dogs or animals, see fear in you. When they see fear, then they feed on your fear, and they feed on your fear. And parents who cry in front of their children because your children, I say, how can you cry in front of your child and go on your knee and start begging and start doing this in front of your child? If you want to do that, it's okay that your child can really hurt you, that you feel like you want to cry. Close that door. Don't ever let your children see your weakness, that you're crying because of them. They will not care. They will take that you cry, they will take that your weakness and use it against you.
They take advantage of it.
Totally take advantage of it. So a child says, oh, mommy, oh, daddy, I'm going to call police. Okay, here. Do you want me to dial it for you? Or you know how to dial it? Or is the number is this? Take the phone. They will not do it. They will not do it. If you show them you don't care, they will not do it. But the minute you start showing your weakness and saying, oh, okay, baby, okay, I'm sorry. Don't call the police or don't call the social services. That's it. Do not allow your children to hold you ransom.
The thing is, Lydia, if you are doing, I just want to let parents here know, if you are doing your job the way you should, yeah, and if you've told your child off, if you've taken things from them, if you're holding them onto their responsibility and you're giving them consequences, they can call the police all they like. They can call the social services all they like. I'll tell you what happens. What happens is social services will listen to your side of the story as well. If indeed you have not, the only time that they'll actually get involved is if you've actually abused the kid, right? If you've abused the kid, then there. But if it's because you've said to them, that's it, there's no TV for 5 weeks or however, even for a year, or if you're doing it to correct them, if you're doing it because you're preventing them from going downhill, it's better for them. It's less work for the police than them going to catch a gangster in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's for us, we think, it's better for us to prevent it at this point. So don't be afraid. If they say to you, in fact, even my one has said, and I said to her, oh, you know the number. It's all 3, and we say it together. Yeah, they know the number, and even you should know the social services number and the police number. In fact, encourage them to call so that when they call, if there was ever a situation they call and the people come, then you can explain to them. You say to them, first of all, they'll go into your fridge and see if there's food. If you've done everything that you should.
As a parent.
If you've done everything that you should, there's no case there. They have it. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, when they know you're afraid, and you know what? I meet these kids in school and sometimes they say, my mom, I don't want to say some of the words they use. I made my mom almost wet herself with fear, right? Especially boys. I made my mom almost, it was so funny. You should have seen her. when I said to her, I'm going to call the police, now, and they know. And that's what, and because of that, they know they can stay all night on their consoles because you're so scared of doing anything.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
but that is when you say, you know what? I'm the one that pays for the Wi-Fi. It goes off at 9. I'm the one that they can. The thing is, in fact, if it ever got to a point that the kid actually gets violent towards you, again, even yourself, don't be afraid to call the police on them.
Yeah.
Why should a kid hurt you?
Why?
Why?
And we're coming to that. We're coming to that actually. Remember the video I sent you today? We're coming to that.
Yes.
With that saying that, I want to just say thank you to all the people who are watching us today. We have so many people online watching us, so thank you very much. And just to remind one lady, her name is Caroline Adenya. Caroline, can you please put your charity up as well, because she's always supporting us. We always, like, as an African community, we always say it's good to support each other. And she has a charity, and her charity is doing really well. She's helping a lot of people. So Carol, put your charity out there. So I just want to say thank you so much to all the people who are watching. And the other thing I'll say is, please, if you're here watching us today, can you share? Please share as well. And thank you for your sharing. I know Carol have said I've shared already. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for watching. And the other thing we want you to do as well, if you're watching, please, let's see your comments. I know sometimes people don't comment until one person starts and then now everybody start commenting. Don't wait for someone else to comment. If you have a burning issue, a question or a comment or a suggestion, please write it down, because your question, your suggestion, or your idea will help someone else. So please, guys, ask questions, put your suggestions. Let's help each other to bring up children, because right now, I can say freely, without fear, our children are lost. We're losing children right, left, center. In fact, Angela, it's so sad that the other day, there's this lady who was praying for the son to go to prison. Who prays for the son to go to prison? She was praying that the child is safer in prison. Do you know? 2 days later, that was only on Thursday, she was telling a group of ladies. I won't call because then they will know who I'm talking about. And then on Saturday, she takes this boy to a party with her. I don't know how these other boys found out. I don't know how these boys find out. I don't even know. The boy told the mom that I'm going home. And the mom was like, no, wait until the party finishes so we go together. But he insists that, no, I'm going home. Do you know, the boy left the house. Was in North London. The boy left the house. Not even 5 minutes. He was shot here on the head with the gang of boys. And this is the boy that the mom was praying that he should end up in prison. So why was this mom praying that the boy should end up in prison? Because she saw so many things. She could have called police herself. At that time, she could have called police herself and say, you know what, A, B, C, D, if you feel safe, your child. So imagine you got pregnant for 9 months, gave birth, which is so painful. I don't know if others felt the pain I felt, but my dear, the pain I felt was beyond. But I still did it 3 times. And then you've raised that child up to the age of over 20, and then you're now praying for that child to be in prison. How? What did you not do? Or what did the society do to the child? Because we all know that the voice out there is stronger than the voice in the house. And that is why I want us, maybe next week or the week after, to bring the teenagers to talk to us. Let them come and tell us where we go wrong.
Yes.
What is it that if we do, it will make them a different people? Do you understand? Because this is just way too much. We lose our children a lot. And I'm telling you, most of us, it's we as parents, we have lost it. We have forgotten. We have assumed. We have ignored. Most of the time, it lies with the parents. Yes, I know sometimes the society, there's an influence out there, very strong influence. But that child, when the child is born, the child belongs to you.
Absolutely. Can I just say something, Lydia?
Yeah.
Do you know, according to research, psychological research, and also some social research, the most influential person in a young person's life is still the parent.
Yeah.
Even, do you know that And that's why the thing is, sometimes we want to influence them, but we are not being the people, we are not being authentic, right? For example, I said to my daughter, and I have been challenged. I said to her to be nice to people, to talk to people nicely. And sometimes she has challenged me. She said on things, she'll say that, Mom, that was not nice the way you spoke to that to that shopkeeper. That was not nice. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, even with everything that we know, we all fall short, right?
Yeah.
You see, I'm speaking to you nicely and everything, but I think every human being has that propensity or the capability of being wrong. Like for example, I remember that time I was really, it's someone was saying that I had done something I had not done. So I was feeling very aggrieved, right? So obviously they're saying that, and I'm feeling, no, I'm going to eat you, But then my daughter later on, but I quickly realized, oh, this is not going anywhere. And I said to them, I'm going to come back to it. Let's talk on the phone. Do you know, just as we walked to the car, my daughter said to me, Mom, do you know, that was very bad how you spoke to that. He was even, the man was scared. And I was like, oh my God, can you imagine? So they can see the disparity in our, and that is a daughter now. Thankfully, over the years, my daughter and I have this open relationship. Can you imagine if someone didn't challenge you on that? So they think that's okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can speak to people how I like. I can be abusive to people and all that. And then we are telling them not to be like that. Yeah. So they look at us and they're thinking, hypocrite. You're not telling me anything. You're phony. You're a fake. Yeah. And there's something about kids and seeing parents as fake. They lose respect and they are resentful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we need to be very, very careful to really look at ourselves. Yeah. Because we are, and in fact, that's our point number 4, which we've jumped now, but let's just talk about it right now that we are on it. We are our children's mirror, because they don't do what we say. And I know there's this say that do what I say and not what I do, but that doesn't work with children. No. It can work with someone else, but not with children. Even husband and wife, it doesn't work with husband and wife. You can't tell me be faithful and you're not faithful, or you can't beat me, but I can beat you. Do you understand? It doesn't work. That is just a silly say. So it's not do what I say, it's do what I do. And your children, they will do exactly what you're doing. They're not going to do what you say. So you cannot tell them, I don't want to see your boyfriend here. I don't want to see you smoking. I don't want to see you drinking. And yet you're doing the same. And you keep on bringing, you bringing Tom, Dick, and Harry in the house every minute. Is this, every second is this, and you're telling your child, this is how I want you to behave. It doesn't run like that. And we are not saying as a parent, if you want to have your fun, because we're all entitled to have fun. We're all entitled to have this, but do not do it in front of your children. Absolutely. That is all we are asking for. We are not saying don't do it. No, you can do it, but do not do it in front of your children. They feel disrespected as well. Exactly. And once your child disrespects you, it's very hard to get it back. Absolutely. It's very hard to get it hard. Huh? They might not tell you, but you will see that disrespect. They will not listen to you. They'll just not want to listen to you. Huh? And I think we have to be very aware of what is happening within us and around us. Yeah, because if we are going to be our young people's models, you can't be, like you said, Lydia, you can't be one thing and then you're asking them to be another. Exactly. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. And then, in fact, I'm just going to say something. Another thing I found extremely, especially in school, and then I did some work, some research on that. I had a friend who the child were in the same class with mine, and the child was not performing very well, even though I knew he could do better.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was something that the mom kept saying. The mom kept saying, you know, those teachers don't know anything, right? This, unfortunately, without even realizing, she would say, oh, these teachers, you know, they're not trained properly, right? And then she would say things like, oh, I wish I was back in Africa. He would go to a better school, right? And then obviously the kid would then not perform well, and she would say it in front, and daughter and I used to say the difference between what I said to my daughter and what she said to her son was, for me, even though sometimes I would notice some of these teachers are not maybe doing the best, I would say to my daughter how able, how capable, how her teachers love her, you know, how, so that, can you see the language? She's looking forward to going to a place that is whole, a place that is refreshing. The difference between how she spoke. Can you imagine if someone is telling you these people don't know anything? What does your kid think?
Yeah,
they don't need to listen. They don't need to listen to those. They don't know anything.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, until I brought that to her attention, it was just something that she just used to say. And I brought it to her attention, and I said to her, the attitude you have towards people who are looking after your children can break or build your child's progress. So we have to be careful. And you know what? After she spoke that, because thankfully she's a very teachable, and all of us are, we can learn. And that's what I was saying earlier about unlearning. Sometimes we don't know, like I remember Lydia, you said about something about words. You didn't know about calling children names was bad until you know, because it's something maybe our parents used to just call us, you know, they used to call us names, you know, it didn't
you're
matter.
Stupid, you're ugly, you're this. In fact, I felt ugly for a long time. Even as an adult, that thing is so funny that even as an adult.
It's very bad because it goes straight into your subconscious mind. So I said to my friend that when you say these teachers don't know anything, when your kid goes to school, she's listening. Why would I listen to someone who doesn't know anything?
Anything, exactly.
Yeah. And then imagine that kind of attitude. Can you learn with that kind of attitude? You cannot. So we need to be careful even how we see, how we present ourselves in front of our kids and the things we say, not just to them, but about other people, right?
As well, yeah.
In fact, as you said that, Lydia, can I just quickly say something about, especially with social media and all that, even as parents, sometimes when we don't feel enough in front of our children, they pick it up.
Yeah.
They pick it up. Or when I'm thinking, for example, I'm glorifying, I'm saying, oh, I wish I could be like Lydia. You know, she's got lovely eyes. Look at her. You know, look at those lovely lips. You know, and I'm saying that. And my daughter is next to me. So she starts thinking, my mom's not good enough. Lydia is the one that's good enough, right? So remember last time I said that my daughter, she's part of me. So sometimes when she looks at herself in the mirror and she knows that I am not good enough, what does she feel herself?
Exactly. She's not good enough. And
so we need to be careful about all these things. Actually, it's just being aware. What am I doing at this moment?
And what am I saying?
And what am I saying?
And what am I watching?
Exactly. And what am I watching?
Yes.
How am I living my life? Am I something to be modeled by this kid? This kid, I want them to become like this. Am I living like that? It's a hard call. And guys, don't think we are standing here thinking we are all perfect.
No.
No. We fall many times. Many times, right?
If you know how many times they've called me in school because of my second child. So many times I was like, gosh, I need to write a book. So it's not, we're not perfect anything, but as well, I didn't get talks like this, because I think if I had talks like this before, and yes, I did attend a seminar that really changed my life into calling my children names, and that I think helped a lot because of the way my children relate to me, because they know I don't call them names. And I had that in a seminar, but when I had my first baby, I used to say, oh, this is stupid. I don't use those words anymore, never in my house, but I had to hear it somewhere. Because I didn't know, because we're not born.
And you had to unlearn.
Unlearn, exactly.
You had to unlearn.
Unlearn my ways.
That's it.
That's it. So talking about behavior was as well. There's a video that I sent you this morning. I tried to load it up, but it couldn't. But the second video that I wanted to share.
Oh, yes.
And it was about behavior. And there was this little girl. Yes, I love her. I love her courage. I love her. She's strong and everything. But I thought there's, like I always say that my daughter's like me. My second baby, she's like me, but without wisdom, because she'll just say something. But for me, because I know how it is, I'll think before I can say it. So I've always told her, darling, you need to use wisdom. You have to use wisdom, because what you're saying is good and is strong and is powerful. But if you put wisdom in it, then you can conquer the world. You don't just throw words like this. And all those are behavior. You see this little girl, she was beating her grandpa and saying, I don't know what she was saying. It was funny the way she was talking. But for me, it could have been funny if she did not hit the grandpa. But the fact that she hit the grandpa, not even once, twice, but even once is too much, personally. And people are saying, oh, he's sweet. How can you say a child hitting someone is sweet? It doesn't matter if that child is 6 months. It doesn't matter if that child is 1 year, because whatever that child is doing at that age, the child will continue doing it until that child is a grown-up.
Absolutely. And then and if they continue doing it when they are grown up, do you know, this is what we call, actually it's a big thing. It's almost a pandemic. This what we call child parent abuse. It's so bad. It's actually it's a subject and a topic by itself. And it's do you know? Hi.
Hello.
Hiya.
How are you?
I am good, thank you.
What's your name?
My name's Angela.
Oh, nice to meet you, Angela. My name is Denise.
Great.
Yeah. And I'm Lydia's eldest
Mama.
daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today's my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happy
I just turned
birthday.
23.
Wow. Happy birthday.
She doesn't look like she has a 23-year-old daughter,
No,
isn't
she
it?
doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
She looks
she doesn't.
too young. When did you have me?
That's a story for another day.
You naughty. You naughty. Yeah.
That's a story for another day. So she's 23 today. So I asked her to just come and say something small. But we're going to have a session with all the youths without us parents. So Denise, would you just like to say just 1 minute, and then you can go and do whatever you were doing?
Yeah. What do I say in my 1 minute?
How you perceive parenting? What do you think about parents?
I think that no two books are the same. So you can take advice from other parents or other people, but you always need to alter it to suit your own child, because no two, even your own children, none of them are the same either. So I feel like it's harder for you guys because you were born in Africa, in whichever country in Africa, and the way you were raised and the way you tried to raise us in this country is different. It doesn't work. And you try to, I know you guys have culture and you don't want your culture to get lost because you're in the Western world, but it's hard for us to adapt to the way you guys have been brought up, to the way we are being brought up, and the way our friends around us are being brought up. So It's a hard one. I think what I have to leave you with is parents have to listen.
Yay!
African parents don't like to listen, but you have to. In the Western world, children have a voice and children speak. Children in Africa, sometimes they don't have a voice. Whatever the parent says goes. But
Yeah.
that's not how it runs here. So we have a voice, and all we need sometimes is just for you to listen. And that will make the household run perfectly.
So do you feel like sometimes we don't listen?
Yes.
Okay. Is it sometimes or just all the time or most of the times?
I feel like when you think what you think is correct,
Mhm.
you don't give any leeway to take correction. Or
Mm,
in Africa, when you're the parent, you're right. You're never wrong.
yeah.
But that's not how the world is. You're wrong because every day you learn something new. Just
That's
because
right.
you're old, it doesn't mean that you're right all the time. But
Mm,
I feel like they're not willing to take, I wouldn't say correction, they're not willing to take advice just because you're the child. What can I learn from you? You're small. What do you know? I've been through everything. But you were going through everything back home. Here, we go through different things. Things are different. Something like, I don't know, breaking up with your boyfriend can really break your heart and you feel like you want to die.
yeah.
And you tell your mom and she's like, boyfriend what? Die what? Do go and read your book. And you're hurt. You want to talk to her about it. You want to tell her how you feel. But I don't think that it's that your mom doesn't care. It's that she doesn't understand what you're saying, because back home they have more serious things to deal with, more serious issues. But we
Mm,
don't have those serious issues. Right now, all I have is my boyfriend's broke up with me. I cannot live without him. Help me.
yeah.
You're like, you shouldn't have had a boyfriend. Go and read your book. Go and you'll find your husband later. You'll be fine. But
Mm,
there's more than that. So I just feel like you need to just adapt, listen, be open-minded. Even if at the end of the day you still don't agree with your child,
yeah.
at least you've had conversation. It's okay to agree to disagree. You don't always have to agree with each other, but at least they feel comfortable to come and
Mm,
talk to you
yeah.
and tell you what the issue is. Whether you're happy with what they've done or you're upset with what they've done, they can still talk to you and tell you how they feel about the situation.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay.
Denise, I think you should take over. Honestly, I think you and my daughter and another girl, and I think you, honestly, I am not joking.
Yeah.
These are the ideas we need to hear. Otherwise, we're going to continue losing our kids,
Yeah.
and we're going to continue losing the connection. Because as you heard Denise say, and this is something I hear from young people all the time, I just wanted my parent to listen, not even to give me advice. Because when we listen to you, you feel important, isn't it?
Mhm.
You feel important, and that's what they want to. Because, like Denise said, this for this time is the whole world. I don't care whether you have not paid, mama hasn't paid the bills or what. That's not, and that's for us. We think she's being selfish. No, but that is her world, and we really should focus, because what happens if we don't listen to her? Some
They'll
other
go
boy,
find someone else to go and talk
some
to.
other
Then.
person who pretends to listen to them will go and take advantage of them. Yeah, and those people, like we said, Lydia, before, those people don't care. They
Yeah.
actually
they don't.
don't care about our kids. So
Yeah. So
parents,
I
we
just
heard
want.
from the kid herself.
Yes.
Honestly, let's listen. Let's unlearn those things
Mm-hmm.
that were drummed into us, and let's just listen. Even if you think listening is silly, even if you think it's okay, just listen and say, okay, let me listen, even though inside myself I'm thinking,
Oh, really? Not again.
yeah. But
So I
that
just want to.
moment,
I want to ask Angela. I wanted to ask Denise that. So if we listened, if
Yeah.
parents listen and
Yeah.
they don't do anything, or they don't do what you expected them to do or to say, does it make it better still?
I think trying is what matters.
Mm,
The fact that you're trying, even if because you're still human at the end of the day, you still make errors, you still do things wrong. But the fact that you're trying is what
Amen.
that matters. It shows that you still care. You're trying to understand. You're trying to put yourself in our shoes, even if you don't get it.
Yes.
Try, then it's fine, because me too, I understand you were brought up somewhere different. The way you were, you didn't have what you're trying to give me right now. So this is new to you as it is to me. So you try is all that matters. It's better than just shutting down the situation full on.
God, do you know that's something I hear from kids all the time? And we need to just spend, in fact, you can stand there and say, just tell it, and then tell them, actually, I don't know what the answer to that is. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't, but I'm telling you the feeling, the relief, the relief when a child thinks that you actually listen to them. I can see Denise putting her hand up. Go on.
That what you said of saying you don't know, that also makes us feel good, because
Human.
sometimes you feel like
Human.
your life is falling apart, you don't know what you're doing, and you're looking at your parents and you're thinking everything with you is so perfect, you're living your life great, you don't make any mistakes, and you as the person, you just feel like a failure, like I'm doing my life wrong, everything is just going wrong. So hearing your mom or your dad saying, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to help you, it's like, what do you mean you don't know? I thought you know everything. So you don't? So you too, you make mistakes. You too, there's days you wake up and you don't know what's going on. That's great. I thought I was just crazy and losing my head. But it's nice to know that you can wake up one day and things are not okay and the day is bad, but you'll wake up tomorrow and
Yes.
things can be okay.
All right. That's so. And Lydia, I don't know if we mentioned last time. I always encourage parents to be vulnerable, right?
yeah.
If you don't know, say you don't know. Don't pretend. If you think, including some of the things, it's hard for us because sometimes we pretend we were perfect teenage, including obviously age related. We need to start sharing our failures. We need to start sharing. Do you know what? I went this, I did this, I jumped out of the window. Some of us jumped out of the window to go to the clubs. Yeah.
He knows my business.
And then when we share with them, they don't think they're going mad, because sometimes teenagers, even as they do all these things, they think it's like something is wrong with me. Why am I doing these things? Why? And last time we talked about some of the feelings you have in your body. You think you're mad, you're going crazy. But when you share with them, we say, those are normal biological processes. Sometimes you have to do this, and that's why you need to be careful, because people can take advantage of you because of the way you are feeling. When we share with them those stories about ourselves, they are like, wait a minute, this is a human person. And there's nothing as powerful as connecting with another person on a human to human level. Because when people see you as a human, they're no longer threatened by you.
Yeah.
And now they start to open up
Mm-hmm.
things that you would never have even heard if you had tried to be stoic.
Yeah. We also have a guest here, Stella. So, and I would like Stella to share something. Stella, don't be shy. Even if it's just a question, Stella, to Denise as a teenager here with us, or as a youth, actually. She's not a teenager anymore. She's 23.
Denise, I'm so glad, because when I tell parents this, they think I'm a new age. They say, oh, you're just a new age parent. And I'm like, no, I speak to these kids all the time. And they are telling me these things. Those things that you're telling me, my daughter tells me, she's 14 coming to 15. Her friends tell me, and sometimes they'll even tell you, I was not even asking for your advice.
I just wanted you to listen.
Yeah, I just wanted you to listen,
Yeah.
It's those things. And we just have to have our antennas up
Hi. Yeah.
and
So-
up, and not judge them, you know,
Mm,
and not judge them, because I'm thinking, for example, like now, like what Denise said about, oh, you shouldn't even be having a boyfriend. Maybe I'm thinking like that, but it's not in my place to tell her at that point. After maybe a couple of conversations,
Mhm.
after we've connected to a point where now I earn the right. Actually, as parents, we need to first connect. You connect so much with your young person until such a point you earn the right to correct them.
yes.
Connect, and then correct.
Mm,
But this quick correcting, you're just breaking your kid, and then they stop telling you. They shut up, and then they start getting information
somebody else. Yeah.
from someone else who does not care.
Yeah. So Angela, let's hear from Stella.
Let's hear Stella, yeah.
Stella, just unmute yourself, Stella, and join the conversation because you're our special guest today. You and Denise, actually. And yeah.
Wow, Lydia, you really just put me on the spot. Seriously, like, oh my God, what do I say? You want to give me time?
You're a parent yourself, aren't you?
Yes, yes,
But parent to young children, right?
yes.
Yeah, so it would be good as well for you to probably then if you want to ask a question, because what I've realized is
Mhm.
when you have children that different age, especially if your children are younger, because I've seen that with a lot of uncles when they ask, oh, did you allow your children to do that? And I'm thinking, how old are your children? And they'll tell me, and then I say, wait, because a lot of parents, when their children are 9, 10, 6, whatever, they look at parents with older children and they think, how can you allow your child to do that? And I always tell them, wait.
Mhm.
Okay, Denise, with hands up.
That's another thing. Never judge another parent.
Okay.
So, me, I like a lot of piercings. I like long nails like this.
Oh wow,
And
hello.
yeah, I love like nails like this. And then
Nothing.
some people, will ask my mom, oh, how can you let her do that? How can you let her? Because I used to have a piercing in my mouth.
Mhm.
It fell out. People were like, oh, how can you let your daughter do that? Look at the way she looks. Funny thing is, haha, the same person
Mhm.
that was saying that about this piercing in my mouth, their child now has it.
Yeah.
Me, I had it and I was 21. The person's child that has it is like 15.
Yeah, she is.
So you were judging, you were saying, oh, I can never let my child do that. You're forgetting that your children are not your property.
Mhm.
That's
Children
right.
listen because they want to listen. They don't have to listen. They choose to listen. So you saying, I'll never let my child do that, your child is going to go and do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. So you should never look at somebody and say anything or make them feel bad because of the way their child is. Even with that piercing in my mouth and her with a piercing in her mouth, that doesn't now make her a bad child. It's just what she likes. That's just how she likes to look. People with tattoos, that doesn't make them bad. That's how they like to look. People ask me, why do I have colored hair? You don't look responsible. I am responsible. If you perceive people with colored hair as irresponsible, that's up to you. That doesn't mean that's what I am. Your perception of someone, it doesn't make them what you think they are. So try not to judge people's children for what they do or how they look, because number one, when your child is outside, you don't know what they're doing. So
That's
you'll be there
right.
yapping. And the mother that you're yapping to, the child is telling their mom, but I was out with Lizzie yesterday and Lizzie was smoking. So I don't know why uncle is saying that Lizzie's good. Shouldn't judge anybody. Just, you can say your point. And once you've said your point, that's it. Don't judge. Don't, you know what I mean?
Because there's a difference between stating a point and judging.
Yeah.
Because when you had your here and she was 21 and although I said no, and she went and did it anyway.
No, you didn't say no.
No, you're lucky.
I never do what mom says no. I do it and then I tell her. Because if you ask and you say, and she says no, and you do it, that's disobeying. But if you've done it without permission, you didn't disobey, you just done it.
So I was actually, what she said is what I wanted to say, because Stella, you have younger children,
Yes.
and it's so important, just what Denise said, because when she had that piercing, she was 21, and somebody really was like, how can you? And the funny thing is that the woman, it was the man, he was an uncle. The daughter now, who is 15, she's so rebellious, and that doesn't make her bad. She's rebellious, and she has it. And I was like, wow. So do not judge other people's children when they're older, because you don't know. All you can do is you can state a statement, but there's a difference between statement and judgment.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Stella, as a young mom,
Mhm.
you should actually listen to topics like this a lot. And you should actually also take advice, or not even advice, but just to teenagers like this. And I'm so grateful that I have a 23-year-old who we are very, very close, me and my daughter. Her friends don't even tell her anything, because they say she'll go and tell her mom. So don't tell her. They say she'll go and tell her mom. But I had to learn when I was young. When I gave birth to her, I used to attend seminars, and that's what helped me to bring her up. If I did not attend those things, I don't know if me and her will be the way we are right now. We are so close that if her sisters even dare say anything negative to me, she deals with them. She's like, excuse me, what did you tell mom? You know, and I had to build that because of what I heard someone else saying. Others, I think we could have been like this, because she has a very strong personality. You are very strong, aren't you?
Thank you.
Oh.
And you should be. And that's good.
She is, and she's everything that I am. I always see myself in her, or I see myself in her, because she is exactly what I trained her. And like I said last time, when she was young, remember I told you she's a princess. Our teacher even called to ask me if she's a real princess at school, because she was behaving like a princess, because I taught her when she was young, because she came, and that's in fact we wanted to talk about that as well when it comes to identity. But before we go to identity, I just want Stella, because now I've given enough time to either ask a question or say something. Stella.
I'm so sorry. I've just come right in the middle, like literally, and I say you've caught me off guard. You've caught me off guard.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
I appreciate the fact that you've allowed me to even say something. I am in agreement with what your daughter said about judgment. Obviously, I mean, we do that quite a lot, and I think it's one of those things that are natural. I don't know if I can say it's a natural thing, or it happens subconsciously when you see someone dressed in a particular manner and things like piercings and that. Of course, but the thing I'd like to point out, and I don't know how to put it, is, let me take this a different direction. When you look at how we dress, or how teenagers dress, and the perception that people have of us the moment they see us, they say the first 3 seconds of
It's judgment.
Yeah, you understand. Yeah, like someone can judge you just by looking at you. They get that impression of you, and they can judge you immediately from that. Now, is that something that teenagers, especially our children, is that something that they can how can I put it? Something that they can put in mind when they are dressing, or when they choose a way to look, because it's probably fashionable or stylish, and how it carries on, and how it affects the people who we work with, the people who you're probably going to for a job interview or something, because unfortunately we get judged quite a lot because of how we dress, or how, unlike the other, unlike the like white counterparts, unfortunately, we get judged easily and quite quickly, unlike them. So is that something that maybe we need to look into? I'd be asking, I'm asking
Denise.
Denise, yeah.
Do you mean like us as the teenagers should think about how
Yeah.
when we dress, how it reflects on you as a parent?
No. On yourself. Do you think
On
that,
ourselves?
yeah.
The reflection, the effect of the reflection doesn't affect us as our age group. It affects the older generation. That's where it's not our problem anymore. It's your problem. It's the way you think when you look at me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's where the issue is. Why must you think a certain way if I look a certain way? It shouldn't be a judgment straight off the way I look, because you don't know what's in here. You don't know what I could tell you. You don't know what I could help you with. But because of the way I look, you've immediately had a perception of me and you've shut down anything that I'm going to try to give you. If I go to a job interview, I'm not going to go with these nails or,
Mhm.
you know, there's job etiquette. You know, when you're going to a certain place, you need to look a certain way. But if I'm out with my friends and I'm partying, I can look anyhow and be anyhow to my that standard, and I should be okay. No one should judge me. No one should think anything of me, because when there's the time and place that you dress in certain ways, there's a time and place for everything. If I want to wear a short skirt and a belly top to a party, that's okay because it's a party. Job, you know, nails like this, no go. Color hair, no go. Short skirt, no go. So I feel like you should you should think about where you're going and present yourself accordingly.
Mm. So I think we should allow, we know that, and the thing is, probably some parents think that because they saw a child wearing a short skirt and long nails and blah, 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 they think that is how that child is. But these youngsters, they have brain. They know that when I'm going for an interview, I'm going to church, I'm going to my friends, I'm going to a party, there's the way they dress. They know how they dress. Because I see Denise when she has these long nails, and then when she's going for, I see her at night checking the nails. I'm like, so why did you do them in the first place? You spend so much money. Now you're busy taking them off. Yeah, mommy, because I have a job interview tomorrow. So why did you do the nails? Why can't you just stay like, mommy, no nails, and I'm happy? And she's like, yeah, mama, but yesterday I was doing this, so I needed to look like this. So I think as well, we need to give youth the benefit of the doubt and know that these guys are smart.
They are smart.
Yeah.
They are extremely smart.
Headmistress, yeah? Yes. What? Okay.
Another thing is like comparisons. I feel like you know, everybody wants their child to go to school, go to university, graduate, get a job, get married, live your life. But life is not always ABC 1, 2, 3. So you have one child, your first child, done the norm, perfect. Second child, not doing too well in school, you know, likes to do, I don't know, maybe drawing. Instead of killing that dream and forcing them to do something that they don't want to do, you should emphasize that gift and that talent that they have and allow them to excel in that area of life. There are times where like someone will like ask my mom, like, what do you do? Like, what do I do? Then she'll say she's a dancer and an actor. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, but like, what does she do? Like, what does she do for work? My mom like, that's her work. She dances and she's an actor. Some African parents don't understand that it's not lawyer, doctor, you know, engineer, all those things.
They've been told by Gina.
Yeah, there's other things that you can do. And in our generation, we have learned how to utilize our gifts to make money at such a young age. So the person that does my nails is even younger than me. I paid £94 for these nails.
What? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah,
Jesus, that's a lot of money.
The nails were
Thank
£94. That's just me, one client. She had 5 clients that day. So imagine your mum is looking at you saying, what nails do you want to do? Go to school, go and read your books. Now you're failing in school and you've killed your side hustle.
That's right.
So I'm not saying that children shouldn't go to school. You should go to school to at least have the base, have your GCSEs, have your A levels. But when it gets to places like uni that are like extended education that you hate, you don't enjoy it, and you have other talents that can bring you money, delve into that. Because nails, hair, arts and crafts, there's a lot of money in it. And if you enjoy it, you'll invest properly, you'll learn. That's where studying won't be hard for you. If you're learning about acting or learning about doing a nail course, doing a hair course, an eyelash course, it doesn't seem like studying to you.
That's
because it's
right.
something you enjoy. It's a passion. You're making money out of what you're doing. So if
That's
you're in
right.
school doing science, doctrine, you'll be in the surgery ward and you don't even care if your client on the table dies or not, because you don't want to be here. You want to and be doing someone's nails, but someone forced you to be doing doctorate.
And I think as well, it's important for parents to accept and that. But you remember, Denise, when somebody used to ask you, what are you doing? And you look at me thinking, but because you are even, it reaches a point you are fed up of saying you're doing performing arts.
Yeah.
Because every time they ask her, why are you doing performing arts? No. That is a passion. What are you doing? And then she's like, Mommy, what should I say? If anybody asks you, tell them you're doing performing arts. That's what you're doing. If they say, you went to say, yes, I'm doing performing arts. Because there's even universities that do performing arts. So why are you performing arts? They used to look at her, they used to make her feel really, really bad. And I told her, you're doing performing arts. If anybody asks you, that's what you're doing. You're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer, you're not an engineer. That's what you're doing. So parents as well need to encourage their children so that they will feel comfortable saying it without feeling anyhow.
About it, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have comments here. There's a lot of comments here as well. And actually, someone is surprised you paid £94 for those nails. They said, what did they put in there?
Gems and the length.
You could have given me that money to spend it.
It's my birthday nails though.
Okay, cool. It's your birthday. Okay, parenting tips are really needful. Good job. I love the way you are handling this. You got ladies. And somebody just say she has nailed it. We don't listen. That someone says they don't listen. And she said that my children always think I know everything. And someone also said, Lydia, kindly next time you have this discussion, I would like to participate as well through Zoom, not just Facebook. So they would like to participate through Zoom. Somebody say, I bet you're the sweetest lady. Oh, yeah. And Caroline Adengnya, like I said, she's put her charity. I told her to put her charity link, so she has. So people, please kindly support her charity, which is doing really good. People tend to speak out or up about their insecurities through others. Just because I'm not comfortable wearing a miniskirt doesn't mean I should judge the other person who is wearing it and is comfortable in it. Somebody said time and place of how you dress. The young lady said it correct. So Denise said it correct. Imagine she said everything, nothing to add. I'm proud of her. Comparing is always one of the ways we discourage our children without even knowing.
That's
because
right.
you know, sometimes parents do this without even knowing.
Yeah.
You just, you know, when we used to have our family meeting, and one day I like to compare because she knew where everything is. One of my daughters knew where, up to now, she knows where everything is. She doesn't know where everything is. So she's always asked, Mommy, where did you put this? And I was like, but Larissa knows where everything is. Why can't you know? And I thought when she said it, I was like, oh my God, that is bad. Because even something small like that can affect a child. But maybe you look at it and think, but that's just a small thing. But to her, it wasn't small. Because she doesn't know where things are, so she doesn't know where it is. So comparing is really bad. And somebody said, I wish parents could be listening to this show together with their teenagers instead of stripping on social media in front of their young kids and strangers. And then my daughter is too good in Brazilian hair, and she works in the city as well. I've told her to go to the business of hair, but she is procrastinating. So I think, Lydia, you should encourage her more and let her talk to teenagers as well. So I think people with teenagers, I'll just say it now. We want to do a teenager show, just teenagers. So if teenagers come and start talking to us parents of where we are falling short, then we can unlearn our ways, just like Angela said. We can unlearn our ways. So Denise, do you have any last minute things you want to tell us as parents, including me?
One last thing is, we know you do it because you love us, but sometimes we need to fail in order to grow. You know, sometimes you're always like protecting your child, mollycoddling, but then now when they're grown, they don't know anything because they've always known, oh, don't do this because it's bad, or don't do this because it's wrong. And now they have no life experiences, no nothing, because all they've done, you gave them everything, you fed them everything. Sometimes in your failure comes knowledge. You learn different things. You know, okay, if maybe I've done it this way instead of this way, I would have had this instead of that. But if you take that away from them, if you give them everything, they have nothing to work with.
That's right.
True.
That is so good. Angela, remember what we said when you spoil your children and you give them everything. That is the same thing she said. So we're not thinking that, we're thinking that we're loving them and we're giving them everything. We're actually spoiling it for them. And I gave example last time of when I took you to a dentist. I took her to a dentist. She was only 7 years old. Never forget that. And anytime I was doing food shopping, I always put sweets in my shopping list. And the dad was so much against it. The dad was like, how can I say, no, she's my first baby, blah, blah, blah. I have to spoil her. I have to do it for her. And I kept on buying sweets. The day I took this girl to the dentist, and she was only 7 years old, she told me, the dentist said, oh, your teeth is rotten. This girl turned around without shame and told me, Mom, it's your fault because you're the one who buys me sweets. I was like, what? How is it? Because you buy me sweets. So when we think that we're doing good things for our children, we're actually spoiling it for them. So we should know that there's a difference between affection and spoiling a child. And that's what we started with, me, myself and Angela. There's a difference between affection and spoiling a child. So Denise, thank you very much. And we'll have you next week again, you and other teenagers, to just come and talk to us. We're not going to participate. You will be the facilitator.
Absolutely.
You.
That would be good.
Thank you so much, Denise. What nuggets. So
Bye.
Bye.
So we really had a lot. Somebody said we still have a lot to learn as old school parents. We tend to do what our parents did, watching this with my daughter. Oh, somebody says she's actually watching with their daughter.
Yay, really?
Yeah. And I would like next time to bring your daughters, bring your children, sons, daughters, let them come next week. My daughter is going to facilitate this next week on Sunday. On Sunday, it's not going to be me. And we're going to have different youths. So they will come and just talk, no judging. We're just going to listen to them.
Listen, and you know what?
To listen.
It's from listening to them. I mean, let's even people who do business, like where we work. What do we say? You know, there's a slogan that says that the customer, you need to listen to the customer.
Yes.
When you think about us and our children are our customers. So if we are not serving them the right way, right, we are not doing it right. And if they are not happy, they will go out there somewhere else. And unfortunately, out there, actually, like Denise told us, people actually don't care for them. They don't care. So we need to be there to listen, even though we don't agree with them. Just to be there to, in fact, that just listening. There's something, I think I shared, is it last week or the week before? I don't like this TikTok thing. But when my daughter started introducing it, she's dancing and all that. And she made me get into it, and I don't spend hours like her. But she called me for 5 minutes to do a move. And she thinks I'm the world, but I'm not telling her. But the fact that I have actually taken my 5 minutes out of everything I do to show her that she's important, that's enough to build her self-confidence. It's enough to build that voice and tell her, actually, I am important. My parent thinks I'm important. So when they hear the sound out there that, oh, you're not cute, you're not important, they can bring back onto, oh, actually, my mom thinks I'm important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to be cautious and aware of such things.
Yeah.
I think
And
Lydia, I think you said it last week, and I think if there's something I ran away with, it was that was one of the things that rang in my mind the whole week about how you normally affirm your girls. That every morning when they leave the house, they know who they are, and it doesn't matter what anyone calls them out there. What their mom says,
Yes.
what you told them every morning, is what kept them going.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's not like the things that you do. For me, I think I used to do it more from a religious perspective, and call them the names that maybe from the Bible, like you've got a sound mind, you're blessed of the Lord, things like that. But then at an age that they are, like, they're still young, that might not really make sense too much to them.
Mhm.
What you said really meant a lot of sense, because now I tell them things that are literal. I tell them things that are literal, and it helps. It helps. I see a difference. Believe you me, whatever little thing it is, it pays off, and you can see that he's braver and enjoys
How old are
himself
your kids,
more.
Stella?
Sorry.
How old are your kids?
The eldest turned 4 today.
Ah, bless!
Yes.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. He was by my side, but then he was because literally, do you know what, Lydia? Thank you for. I didn't think. I just logged in. I thought, let me log in. I really need to do this. I didn't know that I was going to be part of this, but thanks for the opportunity. Believe you me, next time I'll know what to say. But yeah, he
No,
was
you're
sat beside
saying
me. He was
you're
sat beside
okay.
me. And he had to kind of go away because I think he was making a bit of noise. And the other one is just turned 5 months now. So
Oh,
yeah,
blessed.
I've got 2 boys, and these matters really mean a lot to me. These parenting things, the things that when I hear, I always run to each venue I hear there's a conversation about them. It's always really been important to me. Not just because it's not so much because I'm a parent. Of course, there's that drive, but then of course, you've got cousins who've got kids, and you've got relatives. So this information is not just information that is coming to me. It's information that I pass on.
Yes.
That's it.
And
That's it.
that's the most important thing,
Mhm.
because even after that conversation we had on Saturday, after the whole thing on Saturday, I was calling people up saying everything that you guys say. Someone might ask, but Stella, your kids are so young. But surely someone must consume that information. If it
Yeah.
won't help me now, there's some things and some aspects that I ran with from the Saturday event. The
Mhm.
things that would help someone else whose child is a teenager, or even a young adult, or
That's
21
right.
as an is. So this is just a spirit that I like, and I'm happy to be part of this.
Oh, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Stella,
So
for that.
thanks for telling us about what you call your daughters every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
That's
Thank you so much. And also, I also just learned that from attending a seminar, Stella.
Mhm.
When I had Denise, I actually attended the seminar, and I thank God 100% that I attended that seminar.
Mhm.
And that actually taught me a lot, that I should separate behavior and the person. Because
Yeah.
because a lot of us, what a lot of parents also do is we put the behavior and the person together.
Oh
You are
yes.
stupid. You are
Oh
stupid.
yes.
No,
Oh
there's
yeah.
no
Yeah.
child who is stupid.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
before I attended the seminar, I didn't really know that. I'll be honest. I didn't know that. But after I attended the seminar, now I knew that, and I never I always separated the behavior and the child up to today. And like I said, every morning before they go to school, I say, "Come here, sweetie, who are you?" They always repeat. And with Denise, they actually had to call me from school and ask me, "Is she a real princess?" I say, "Why are you asking?" Because of the, I
Wow.
say, "Of course she is a real princess."
Mhm.
And this girl, if she had coins they used to drop, she will not pick. Her friends call me and say, "Auntie, you know Denise?" I say, "Mommy, why don't you do?" She said, "Because she's a princess and princesses don't pick coins." I said, "My dear, me, I'm not a princess. Pick it, bring it to me." You're a princess, so
Yeah.
don't pick coins, but bring it to me. So I raised my children up, and because I have all girls, so it's the same principle. They're all princess, they do this and do this. But we can apply the old princess to boys and girls.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
So just before
Yeah.
Denise came, we wanted to talk about, there's a video that we shared today, me and Angela, and it was about this little girl speaking to their grandparent, which was really good. The confidence she had for a little child like that, I think she was maybe 2 years old.
About
That
3
confidence,
years.
yeah, she was so powerful. But the fact that now she started hitting her grandpa physically, that is what disturbed my spirit. Because and then people think it's funny because, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Because she was like this
I think
to the
okay.
grandpa, which is good. But the fact that she now used physical, it's
Violence.
totally wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when I had my second one, she used to bite people. She used to actually bite, and she was only 6 months. She'll bite, I'll bite her. People were telling me, Lydia, she's just a child. I said, no. She's not just a child. Because if I don't stop this behavior now, it will not, she will continue, and then she will have no friends, because every parent will say, I don't want your child near my child because she bites.
Yes.
So what have I done to this child?
Yeah.
So when she used to bite, I'll bite her back. She did that 4 or 5 times. She stopped biting. I had to bite her back. I had to show her that what you're doing to me is so painful. I did it back to you.
Yeah.
So she stopped. So that child hitting grandpa at this time, some people see it as cute because it's the parents, of course, who took the video and put it up. How can you think that it's cute, your child hitting their grandpa? If you don't stop that child now, that child will be 6, 8, 10, hitting their parents.
True.
What would you say then? So Angela, just talk to us about that. That wasn't nice.
It's like I said, that should be seen for exactly what it is. It's violence. And if we don't stop it, and especially the people that laugh, what's happening is you're rewarding the child for bad behavior, so they think it's okay, so they carry on doing it. And the problem with that, can I just give you a statistic I got last week, which was very disturbing? They said the charity is called Family Lines. They said just in this lockdown, and this is just in the UK, they received 85,000 calls to their line for child-parent abuse, and that's physical aggression. 85,000, and remember, by the time a parent is calling them, maybe they've even been thrown out by the kid. Yeah, and this is what we find is child-parent abuse, or normally we call it adolescent-parent violence. It's one of those underreported crimes. It's because many parents are being beaten or abused by their kids, but they don't do anything. First of all, you're so ashamed of doing it, and then you fear for what's going to happen to your kid, right? So they don't report it. The problem is when, especially, remember that kid was only 3. If they're not stopped from doing that, if they don't face consequences, they go to school, they start doing it to other kids and the teachers. Who's going to allow that? They're going to be thrown out of school. And still, remember, they must still go to school, especially if you're in the UK. A child must go to school until they're 16. So what happens to that kid? That kid is taken to what we call those schools that are not mainstream behavioral schools, right? So what happens when they go there? They meet other kids who are even worse. And then what happens when they are all together? They get worse. Those are then the kids we meet in prison. Why? Because it just gets worse and worse and worse. So we must be prepared to take action, whatever action it is, to stop that behavior, because it's not a wholesome behavior. First of all, we need to create what we call, I wish every family would create a culture of, let's say, maybe you can just decide in this house, whatever your surname house is, we have 5 commandments, right? Being kind, or whatever, put them out there. And then when a kid behaves in a violent way, you know they are breaking the commandments. And you need to be very clear about what happens to those that break the commandments. And we need to start from home. Yeah? We need to start from home, and they need to face those strong consequences. Because we can't allow, there's something called, of course, in their mind, they learn to do that and they think that's okay. But then there's also another thing that happens when people are not, they don't face consequences or they're not punished. They feel invincible. Yeah, do you know, again, this is the problem with even something like crime. It's like a drug. Do you know, when they do that, they have that high, right? So what happens next time? They do something even worse, and then worse. So, by the way, when you hear a teenager has killed someone, it's not the first crime. If you look back, you hear of stories when they kicked a kid and nothing was done. They kicked the parents' teeth, nothing was done. They kicked, you know, the story, you hear the storyline, and then when it ends, oh, they've just killed someone. You're like, that was coming. It was coming. So we must stop it. You know, when it's very soft, stop it at that point. Like what you said, Lydia. When she started biting you, it's painful. This is painful. And whatever you did, maybe I wouldn't have done it that way. But I wouldn't have done it that way myself. But I know I have put my daughter on a step that she doesn't like. My daughter she's the kind, she used to like more, she liked experiences more. She was not for gadgets and all any of that. So even if you took those, that would be nothing. But I remember one time she was quite nasty to me. And I said to her, we're going basic. And what does basic mean? I think she must have been 7 or something. Basic means I feed you, I clothe you, I take you to school. We don't sit down here and cuddle and laugh and watch TV or go for walks. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that with you. So you deny them something that they really like, yeah? Or you have to do something. And it's up to you as a parent to identify how must this be stopped. Because I'm telling you, if we don't stop it, we're just building monsters. We're just building monsters. And we may laugh at it when they're young. I mean, I saw that video and cute. How can that be? How? That's no. It's not acceptable. Right? Lydia, you're mute.
Thank you so much. I always say technology, man. Technology is not kind to us. Let me just say thank you again for everybody who's watching on Facebook. Thank you very much for taking your time to come and listen to us. And thank you for all the people who've liked, commented, contributed. And I'll say again, please share. I've seen some people have shared. Thank you very much for all those people who have shared this post. Because as you share, you're helping somebody. We say, let's support each other. The only way we support each other is by spreading the news, just like Stella did after last week when she had the session. She called and she was just telling everybody what the session, how she was touched. So guys, the only way you can help as well is please share. And I know somebody also said 85,000 calls over children parent abuse. Boy, there is traumatizing. Even in a shock. At least back home, Sunday churches help so much. Even Christian clubs and church convention do better to teenagers in Kenya. Yeah, that 85, even me, that 85 have really thrown me. 85K, I was thinking is...
And remember, note that that is only what's reported. That's an underestimation.
Wow, that is bad. That is bad. So we can see that things like that, and I don't even know if I should blame that child or anything, because when something like that happens, like you said, Angela, it's not the first time. And for a child to have the courage to hit a parent, that means they started doing it as that 2-year-old girl when people are saying it's cute. No, parent whatsoever should allow a child to even do this to them, like even push them. You're not pushing your parent. You're not touching me. You're not hitting me. Because you push me, I'll push you back up to Kenya. You'll fall down. The next time you think of pushing me, you'll not even try it. And I think when these little kids, and I've also seen a child, I've actually heard a child saying, oh, shut up to a parent. And some people around are like, oh my God, that's so cute. Because they're sick, they're young, they're like 1 year or 1 year and a half. You know, when they start talking, and the first things sometimes they pick is bad things. You should not allow that whatsoever. And there's also this thing that, and this one is a lot, children are crying for maybe a phone, example. This is how things begin, parents. And I'm telling you, because I've seen it. I have a teenager. I've seen it and I know. Children start crying for phone, example. And because parents want a peace of mind, they just give it. Because the child will be, oh, mommy, I want it, or daddy. And then you just give it. That child is so smart. You've given it once. That's just going to be the life. So every time they cry for something because you just want peace of mind, you give it. No peace of mind as a parent. You give birth to that child. There's no time for peace of mind. When that child starts crying for things, do not give it. When they go to supermarket, they're crying for chocolate, they're rolling on the floor. Leave them there, start walking.
Oh, yes.
When you start walking, they'll get up and start. They'll follow you. So they'll be like, what's wrong with mom? She doesn't care.
Yeah.
Leave that child on that floor and start walking. The child will get up. But parents, because of peace of mind, a child will cry for this and will give them. Remember that peace of mind that you're having now, later you will have it worse.
Absolutely.
Worse
It's like
and worse.
feeding a pet snake, you know? You feed a pet snake. I think you guys remember that story of feeding the pet snake, right? So, the snake, you know, it's soft and cuddly, you know, you just give it whatever it wants, you know, and you think it's all cuddly and all that. What happens when the fangs come out later? It kills you, right? So we need to be very, like Lydia said about kids are very smart with manipulation.
They manipulate you if they come.
When you say no, I mean, don't be ashamed of, if your kid is screaming in the supermarket, you can say to them, that's what we want. When you're ready, we can move on, right? I don't know how many times any place was a naughty corner, even if it was in this. And I remember one time, on the aisle in a Tesco shop, the man said, oh, excuse me, is that your child there crying? I said, yeah, leave her there for 3 minutes. She knows she's got to stay there. No, but you really shouldn't be leaving her there. I said, I can see her. I can see her. The law says as long as she's in my view, so I know she's safe, but she knows what she's done, and that's why she's sitting there. She did it a couple of times, and she knows mommy's no nonsense. She'll keep you there. I'm not ashamed. Why should I be ashamed?
Exactly.
And you know, they prey on our shame, on our guilt.
Yes.
You know, I don't want people to think, well, I mean, that man challenged me. I said, I know, I can see her. If I left her in some place I can't see, you can challenge me, but I can see her. At the end of this, I'm not with her. She's having her time. She knows what she's done. So she's sitting there safely to reflect. And we have to do that. We have to be strong. I mean, daughter, gosh, I know we've paid to go to the movies and we are in there and she's kicking off about something. Be prepared to lose that 10 pounds.
And walk away.
And walk and say, this behavior is not acceptable. I mean, of course, it's paid for when you plan for the evening and you know you're going to. Even I was looking forward to watch that movie. And on top of that, I've paid my price and child's price. So I'm feeling this is 17 pounds. But for the sake of the future, because if we don't do anything, what they know is, oh, my mom is so scared of losing the money, so I can play up during those moments. During those moments, they're learning. Sometimes we just have to be prepared to, if it's a meal you're having, say, this behavior is not going on. If it carries on, we are leaving. we are living, and just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, 17 pounds is not the end of the world, but
Mhm.
if that behavior is allowed to carry on, right? That's how they sabotage you. They close the door on you. Some of the things you see, the kid, and as they grow bigger, they can throw you out of the house. They're
Yes,
big.
they can. They can. And
They
you,
throw you
you
out of the house and tell you, you're not coming in. You stay
talking
out there.
about talking about shutting door, Angela, is I also wanted to talk about arguing with your children. You should not argue with your child. No argument. You don't give room for that. That you're saying one, she's saying to you know, one lady visited me, and the daughter was actually chewing gum and eating chocolate as well. And the mom said, "You cannot chew the chewing gum and eat." Do you know what this girl did? And my children looked at me like this with so much fear. They looked at me thinking, if that was my mom, I don't know what she could have done. The child goes, "I can chew my chewing gum if I want," on the mom's face. And the mom just said, "Oh, get out of here." And I was thinking, hey, my children looked at me in fear. And I told them, not even in your dreams. If you have a dream like that, get up and start praying. I've always told them, if you have a dream that you disrespected your mom, get up and pray. Because if that was to happen, if that was to manifest itself physically, my friend. Hey. So they looked at me when that girl did that. They looked at me and they said, "Oh my God, mom, we saw what she did." I said, "You shouldn't even have seen it, because you shouldn't even put it in your spirit or even talk about
It can happen.
You didn't see it, because if you even dream, so you allow your children to argue with you. And everything, Angela and Stella, I'll tell you, everything starts from when they are born. Foundation. Everything starts from foundation. Do not wait when your child is 2 years, especially Stella. Don't wait when your child is I don't know how many, and you're saying, "Oh, wait, she's still a child. He's still a child." When he's 4, maybe I'll say when he's 5. No. When that child comes, the minute you give birth to that child, they're smart. And they always say that when we are born, we are all sinners from the minute we are born. That's what the Bible says, that we are all born sinners. Why is it that a child, the first thing they will learn is no? Why are you learning no? Why are you learning something that is negative? Why can't you just learn something nice? Because we are all born sinners. So when that child is born, they already know, they're already smart. That's why when they will cry when you put them down, how do they know that's down? And they know when you carry them. Come on. They're smart and they're manipulative, just like you guys said. Start training that child immediately they are born. But if any behavior is out of the ordinary, you have to stop it immediately. That doesn't mean, just like Denise said, they choose to listen. That doesn't mean that when they're older, they'll be 100% perfect. No. But at least they'll remember. Hey,
Absolutely.
my mom taught me. When they're out there, they'll remember, this is what my mom taught me. Yeah. So because we're running out of time, Stella, I'll ask you if you have anything to tell us before we finish, and then I'll go to Angela. I know Angela has a passion, because this is actually a profession. This is an area of expertise. I'm just talking as a parent and as a someone who facilitates different shows. And Stella probably is talking as a parent as well. But Angela is actually talking from a point of professionalism, because that's what she does.
Parents as well.
And a parent as well, by the way, and a parent as well. So Stella, do you have anything to tell us as we close today?
No, to be honest, I don't have anything to say. I feel like I've actually missed on quite a lot, to be honest. I've joined you guys quite late. And I just like everything that has been said by Denise, the bit that I got, everything that Angela told us. And I think moving on, of course, now we're speaking about teenagers and everything. And I don't know if I can add this onto the agenda for future. If we could have maybe also a forum now to also speak about some of the issues that the the challenges the boys are struggling with. Because recently we've spoken quite a lot about girls, not just on this forum, but it's been on social media and everything, and we've tended to really look at the things that affect girls and the issues that make them what they are today. But then if we could maybe change the coin as well and speak about boys so that we start knowing also what to do from when they're young. Not that we don't know, but then there are new things. These kids nowadays come with new challenges. Denise must have mentioned about how it is different. The challenges that we faced then is very
Yeah.
different to the challenges that they face now. And one of our downfalls is when they cry about things that are happening now, or they want us to give them a listening ear now over things that are happening to them mentally, but we cannot relate because obviously ours is what happened to us physically. Like, I don't understand why you're complaining. I carried a pot of water for 20 kilometers when I was a teenager. So you telling me about this heartache or whatever does not make sense to me. You know, those are issues that I'd like us to speak about maybe in the future forums if
Mhm.
if they're available, and also about boys as well.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yes.
absolutely.
Thank you very much, Stella. We can actually, you know what happens with forums like that, Stella,
Mhm.
is we create it ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we cannot wait for someone else to create
Oh,
forums
yes.
for us.
Yes.
We create it ourselves. So that
Yes.
what you just spoke about, we're going to create it
Yes.
ourselves.
Absolutely.
And like you said, there's a lot of talk about girl child, everything girl child, girl child. They've forgotten
Yes.
the boy child.
Mm.
And if you train a girl child and you forget the boy child, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're still not making no difference.
Yeah.
Because that same boy will come and destroy what you've taught on that girl.
Exactly.
So we need to train boy child and girl child alike. So what
Yeah.
you've said, we're going to do it, Stella. We're going to create that platform ourselves. And
Mhm.
somebody said, this meeting has been so informative and I've learned so much and realized all the mistakes I made as a parent of 4 who are a bit older than teenagers. Even though I can't take the clock back, I'm willing to learn and would encourage teen moms to listen and take all this advice we have been given. Stella, please give us your contacts.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody called, Stella, can you see my Facebook? So if you can, there's
Yeah.
Blaskua Shishu, I think. You can, because I didn't listen to my kids, I'm paying the
Right.
cost. When
What
the
happened
person
there?
also said, because I didn't listen to my children, I'm paying the price harshly.
Mm.
That's what she said. The same person, that's what the same person say who wants your contact, Stella.
Mhm.
And I'm actually really proud of this person to say this on the platform, because a lot of parents want to make up like everything is 100% perfect. But for this person to come and say this on this forum, that means that, Angela, we are doing a good job.
Mhm.
It is.
We should continue to do this. And like I said, we're going to have this program, me and Angela, we're going to have this program once a month. And
Absolutely.
for people who are listening, before I go to Angela, thank you very much. And like I say again, please share. Because if you don't share, we won't have people listening and saying they've been encouraged and actually they've learned a lot and they've unlearned a lot as well. Because even me, my job is just to facilitate, but I learn a lot from Angela as well. I learn a lot. And I also learn a lot from people who are giving their views and their suggestions as well. I learn a lot. So people who are watching, please, you can share this. Please share just one person, just share one, just one forum, and that's it. Thank you very much. So Angela, what would you like to say before we finish?
First of all, is obviously just being very, very thankful for all you guys who are listening and giving us feedback, and Stella for coming and giving us your insights, and also for Denise, your daughter. She just spoke the language that we all need to hear. She has told us really from the child. You know, sometimes when we hear from professionals, we think, oh, they're just saying. But when you actually hear from the kids' mouths, that is it's something you can't even quantify. That is even more than the research we do. And I'm just gonna say our job is to let's be open. Let's have an open mind and lean in and listen. And there's something Denise said that was very important, and it's something I hear with the young people a lot. They say that they are not our properties. They are their own individual. Remember, they are life in itself. They are individuals. They are independent people. So we need to treat them as such. Obviously, encourage them, empower them, but our job is to lean in. And there's something else she also said, which is something I say a lot. It's okay to say that you don't know.
Yeah.
It is okay. It is okay to say you don't.
Yeah. Angela frozen. Technology again. Yeah. So thank you.
Here. They feel very defeated. And that's not what we want for our young people. So all I can say is, let's listen in. Let's treat them as individuals. Yeah. Let's unlearn. Lydia, you said about unlearning. Even myself, I have to unlearn some things that are not helping us. And Stella, you made a good suggestion there about talking about things that are, for example, boys and what we must do, and those are things that we have to come together. And this is what we call the village.
Yeah.
This is the village. You and me and Lydia talking. This is the village, because we no longer live in the village and do not and meet in the farms.
Yeah.
We don't have such. The village now, thankfully, is this social media, this forum. We come here and talk about our challenges. We share, we laugh, we cry, and it's just being human. It's just being human. So I would just encourage us to open our minds and listen to our kids and be in tune with them, so that we can parent them. Because truly, parenting is, I keep saying, it's the highest form of leadership. It's the highest form of leadership. And we must lead them with wisdom, with intelligence, and everything, because they belong to life. Yeah. So that's all I can say, and I'm so grateful, and I look forward to these forums every once a month now.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And next when we come a month from now, we're going to talk about identity, because that's something really big as well. The identity is very huge. So I want to say thank you, and I want to say happy birthday to Stella. What's your son's name?
Daniel.
Happy birthday to Daniel. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And happy birthday to my baby Denise. And happy birthday to your baby Daniel. So they were all born on the 29th of November. So we were in the same maternity ward, screaming our head off.
Screaming and tearing off our head.
So that is awesome. So happy birthday to Daniel and to Denise as well.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Stella, for coming. And thank you so much all to our viewers. And please, I just request again, and I beg, please share this. And next week, we're going to have the teenagers. So next week on Sunday, we're here. Somebody asked, when do we do these shows? We do these shows every Sunday from 6. Supposed to be 2 hours, but sometimes we go above. Like today, we've gone 90 minutes over, but we're going to finish soon. So we do it every Sunday from 6 p.m. London time, not Kenyan time, not Nigerian time, but London time, 6 p.m. London time. So you can check it with your own time in your own country, because this is for the whole world. So it's not just for Kenyans. And that's why we have to speak English, even though most of the time we're Kenyans, but sometimes we are also mixed nationality. So guys, next time we're here, the teenagers are going to come next week, and they're going to tell us why they think we don't listen, because I hear that all the time. So they're coming here next week. You saw my daughter Denise already, so she's going to be here next week to facilitate. I know somebody said they want their daughter to to be part of it. So if you want your child to be part of it, please, you can inbox me, or you can inbox Angela, please, if you want your child to participate, your teenager or your youth. It's fine. So thank you very much. Thank you all the viewers. And somebody said, Caroline said, happy birthday to Daniel and Denise. May God grant both kids a long life. And Black Cow as well said, and happy birthday to Stella's son, Daniel. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. God bless you
so much.
Thank you.
God bless.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.